good morning. It's not morning, but it is what it is. It's the afternoon. Um, didn't plan to make a video, but as I was driving home, I was thinking, specifically about like friend breakups, and I was just thinking about the people that I've known in the past and how like hurt I've been by like former friends, either like during or like after the end of that like friendship. And the thing is, like I've never had like a romantic breakup because I've never had a romantic relationship. But I feel like part of the thing that makes like friend breakups so like hurtful is people don't feel the need to like say anything. Like, and I have to admit, I have done this to one person where it's just like, I don't mess with you anymore. And I didn't explicitly tell them that. I just like, I stopped messing with them. But at the same time, it was like, it was, they bullied me. Yeah, like if I'm being so real, they bullied me. And then were trying to act like super chummy, like whenever they saw me. And it was like, but you know what you did. And of course, like you can say like someone doesn't always know like what their behavior was, but the or like people don't know how you feel unless you tell them. That's true. And I didn't tell them like, oh, you made me feel bad. But at the same time, the reason why I stopped messing with them was we hadn't seen each other for a while. And then one time we spoke and they told me how a lot of the things that they said and did to me were malicious. Like they said to me straight up, like, oh, I like didn't like you being confident and happy about yourself. So it was like we specifically met up one time and I was like excited to see them and like catch up with them, but a little bit like reserved too, because at that point I had realized that they had been bullying me because I thought we were friends. I realized they had been bullying me, but I was like, okay, I understand like where they were coming from kind of, and we were young. Now that I'm older, like I understand that wasn't a good relationship for me to be in, but I don't hold it against them because they were like young, they had like their own insecurities, stuff like that. But when we talked and we were catching up, there were like little things that they said to me that were like insulting in and of themselves, even though they were acting like really chummy. And then they also said that like they knew that they were like envious of me. And even that, like, jealous of me for what? Like, I'm going through it. Like, I was not extremely like happy and like fortunate or like doing super great at that time. But I mean, that just goes to show like everyone has their own individual circumstances and like insecurities, and like what you see as someone's like very fortunate, very happy life, like they might not see that. And I'm sure there are things like that she had that like I didn't have, that like I wished I could have. But like I didn't treat her with malice because of those in the way that she did, and in the way that she knew that she did, and she confessed to me that she did, and that she did not apologize for. That was really the thing, was that as she was talking to me, she was saying like, yeah, I know I did these things like actively and with malice towards you, And she was like laughing like it was funny, and she didn't apologize to me. And that's when I unforgave her. So I will admit, like, after that, anytime I saw her, I was ignore, like, no. Or like, oh, hi, as I keep walking, like, and I will say, like, I I didn't give a reason, but my behavior was probably cagey. Like, she noticed. Most likely she noticed that I was acting like I don't want to be near you. But when I say like she knows what she did, she told me specifically that she knows what she did and didn't apologize. Whereas if she had said, I'm really sorry about that, I would have been like, okay. In a perfect world, but I understand human beings are not like perfectly able to communicate all the time. So while it's like I don't have no like ill will towards you, it's also like I'm not going to be like chummy with you or like stop my day to interact with you. So I have been on the other side of that, is what I'm saying all that to say. But I feel like that is the thing for me, that like when I'm close to someone and then suddenly they're not talking to me, I'm like that's what's so hurtful, because I'm wondering what is it that I did. And maybe they're sitting like wherever they are, and if they think about me, they're like, she knows what she did. I don't. Like, there was this one girl who like we were super close, and we were like together all the time, and it was when I was in school too. So taking we were like commuting together, and we were in all the same classes, and we were sitting next to each other in all the classes. And then it was one day she just stopped talking to me. Like, I would walk up and be like, hi, and then be like, hi, and would not engage in conversation. Like, would like, as you're talking, like one wording, and like really like dry like conversation. And it just got to the point where like we were sitting next to each other, but we might as well have been across the room, because we were not making eye contact. Like, I was not looking at her, she was not looking at me. We stopped hanging out when we literally used to spend like the entire day together, every single day. And to me, I was just like, why are you like, at first it was like, oh, I guess they don't want to talk or need some space. And then it was like, why did we used to literally speak all day, and now you won't talk to me? What did I do? And I had another situation that was kind of similar, where it was like we went from being so close, like they stopped talking to me, and I was the one who was like left confused, and I was still like reaching out and trying to be like, hey, what's going on? Not like what's going on, but like, oh, what's up, because like it's not like there was ever a disagreement or anything. It was just like suddenly I noticed he stopped talking to me. And it just kind of like, at least in like a romantic relationship, you sort of would like know that you have to like verbally end things with someone. Or, hopefully people would do that. Like, there's some form of like defining the relationship, and then like a marked end point. And like, I know I know people don't always get the closure that they want, but at least to know, like, specifically, like, we're not, this isn't us anymore. Like, that's just kind of what I want. Or like a little bit of an explanation. Or like if it was something that like was my behavior, maybe I could have changed that and we could have still been cool. And it's not like we're not cool. It's just like we're it's like we're in. The most recent situation that had happened, I won't go into detail about, but it was probably the most hurtful because it really felt like just a little while ago, like we were so like close. Not even like we were like super, super close, like best friends, but like we have no beef. And also like we weren't, it's not like we were having like extremely like deep personal like conversations, or there was a lot of like pressure to have a like certain like level to the relationship. It was just like we're cool, you know? So what made it uncool? Like where did the beef come from? It's just very confusing. And one thing I've found is, at least for me personally, whenever I've made friends with someone very fast, like we've gotten close very quickly, that always ends like very poorly for me. And you know what the thing is? It was that person who had made me realize that. Not by like the end of that relationship coming, but I was talking to them and they like made an observation to me that like made me have like a breakthrough where I was like, oh, that's why I'm like that. If I'm being really honest, I don't think I'm like super over it because I think I desire closure too much, because I kind of like, I wish I could see myself through someone else's like eyes and experience. So I really want to know, like, how come you don't mess with me? Or like, what are you seeing in me that's like not aligned with like what you want to be seeing? But at the same time, I don't think it's exactly fair all the time to like ask someone that. Or like anytime I've tried to like confront them about it, it's been like too emotional, or I feel like this is really selfish of me to try to do to them, to like ask them this. So I don't know how to approach it. So I kind of just have to let it go, which I don't feel great about either, but I'm slowly getting over it. The thing though is, because we have mutual friends who don't know about this. I mean, unless there's beef and they're telling them but not telling me. Because I don't think they would do that though. They're like a good person. Because we have mutual friends, there's only a certain extent to which I can talk about it. Because I don't want it to affect like other people's view of them. Is that wrong? Not like wrong, but like should I care that much? I don't know. I want to know what I did wrong, because I feel like I would fix it. Or like when I try to imagine like what it could have been, I feel like I just like nitpick at myself. So it would be nice to know exactly what it is about me that like you don't want to be that's not in alignment with you. But, you know, I'm kind of at a point where I'm like, I just can't have that closure. Closure's a lie. Yeah, I can't think of like a way to approach a situation like this and be like, hey, I see what you're doing. Like this ghosting, like that you thought you were going to be able to do and I wouldn't notice. Like I definitely noticed. And have that be like level or like neutral. Because it's not like I'm mad, because you have the right to not be friends with me. And I don't want to, like, if you decide you don't want to be friends with me, I'm not going to force you to be my friend. But just like, goodbye then. Like, whatever. I don't know. So yeah, if you don't want to be friends with me, we don't have to be friends. Like, okay, great, we're not friends. But I want to know for sure that we're not friends. And it's not just like unintentional on their part. Even though I feel like it must be intentional from just like what I've been receiving on my end. But, sometimes like what you think is going on in someone's mind is not what's really going on. So I would just like to know what's really going on. But I just don't think I have access to that. But it does hurt. And I do think about it a lot, even though at this point I feel like I can never talk about it. But yeah, I just need to get that off my chest. And as I was driving home, I was thinking like, at least if like this had been like a romantic relationship, you would have had to like come face to face and tell me we're not an item anymore. Like at least come up with an excuse instead of just like disappearing and hoping I wouldn't notice. But anyway, all those friendships, even the girl who bullied me, all those friendships were like, I feel like I had a good experience at the time. Even if looking back, I'm kind of like, damn, that was kind of fucked up. Like, I feel like it was like they added something positive to my life experience. So I'm not like mad. But I get sad sometimes. And I wonder about it sometimes. There's a YouTuber who I watch she says, in life, there are lessons and blessings. And I feel like I got my blessings and my lessons from like all of them. So it's fine. That's just the way life goes. And that's it for me. I really just have to get that off my chest. Bye. Like, no outro. Moi, no outro. Moi, no outro. Bye.